Welcome to Elevate Springfield, where we will dive into strategies and stories that help you rise to your full potential. Each episode, we'll talk about how you can take intentional steps to elevate your life and your business while making a meaningful impact on those around you. Along the way, we're going to bring in the change makers from our community that are already elevating. We'll bring the actionable strategies, you bring the discipline and follow through, and together we can elevate Springfield.
All right, let's go, Springfield. Time to 10x your life, your business, all of it. Time to crush those goals. Time to get after it. Let's go. You are listening to the Elevate Springfield podcast. Robert Farrell here, certified 10X coach, speaker, and mentor, here to bring you actionable strategies. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together we're going to elevate Springfield. We're coming to you again from beautiful downtown Springfield in the Big Dog Construction Studio. Hey, we've got so much going on in Springfield right now. Make sure you are participating. Get out there, network with folks, be a part of the community, support local businesses, support local nonprofits, and let's go. We can all grow together. So, hey, another great episode for you today. We're going to get right to our guest after the break. Hey, Springfield, when it comes to reliable, high-quality roofing, you don't want to leave things to chance. That's why you should reach out to Acosta Angeli Roofing, your local roofing expert, serving Springfield and surrounding communities. From quick, dependable repairs to full replacement, from residential to commercial, they are your trusted pros. Call them today at 217-993-2748 or visit their website to book your free quote and inspection. Don't wait. A little leak now could lead to major damage later. Trust the local experts, protect your home, and get peace of mind with Acosta Angeli Roofing.
And we are back. Hey, joining me in the studio now, Bailey Sullivan from Pulse Pilates Studio. Bailey, thank you for joining us. How we doing?
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Looking forward to, well, quite frankly, learning a little bit about Pilates, but also learning about your studio that just opened up, like 7 months ago, right? But before we do all that, let's learn a little bit about Bailey. Tell us a little about your background.
Well, I was born in Springfield. I moved to Park City, Utah when I was 12. And so that's where I consider where I've grown up mostly, because that's where I've lived the longest. From there, I lived in Los Angeles, went back to Utah, and then came back to LA, and then came to Springfield.
Okay.
So I went to LA for college. I have a background in fashion, product development. I went to the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in Los Angeles. And I also have a degree in English from a college in Salt Lake City. And then my mom was getting her training through a small studio in Salt Lake. And she was like, hey, have you ever thought about teaching Pilates? Because I was in the fashion industry and I was looking for something with a little bit more depth. And she was like, I feel like you'd be really great at it. And she was teaching me because she needed teaching hours. And so I was doing it quite a bit. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'll look into it. And so she ended up leaving the training that she was doing, and she and I went through the Balanced Body comprehensively trained program together.
Okay. So you did work in the fashion industry for a little bit?
Yeah, but when I graduated, it was during the recession.
Right.
And so there were no jobs for new graduates. So there were people who had 30 years of experience that were taking entry-level jobs. I worked for a fashion magazine for a very short while selling advertising.
Sure.
And that was just not my jam. I was like, I want to do something creative. I was an intern for them first and was doing all the photo shoots and runway shows, all this stuff, and loved it. But once I got hired, it was doing something that was not my cup of tea. And so, then I explored other avenues and did buying for a little bit. And then I did visual merchandising for different stores. And then Pilates just kind of fell into my lap.
Yeah.
But I've been doing Pilates for 20 years, I would say. My mom got me a DVD and I took that to college with me. And so I would make my roommates do it with me. I'm like, all right, guys, let's go and do Pilates. And then who knew that this was going to be my career?
Right.
But yeah, it all obviously worked out the way that it was supposed to.
So no thoughts about in high school that, hey, maybe I'm going to do this as a career?
No, I always knew I wanted to go into the fashion industry. I was dead set on that. And so I lived that dream and it was awesome. And part of me still sometimes misses just the fun side of the fashion degree. I just was wanting more depth and more meaningful everyday life. I feel like I get to genuinely help people in their everyday lives and help them feel great and make them feel stronger and improve their day-to-day life. And so it's just so rewarding. Not that there's not rewarding aspects to the fashion industry. It's just, I would say, not as rewarding as teaching Pilates.
So Park City, you big skier?
Yeah, I ski and I snowboard. Grew up skiing and then I switched to snowboarding. And then I did that for, I don't know, probably like 10 years. I worked for a skiing only resort and my bosses, they were like, look, we love you, but you got to give up the snowboarding thing. We're going to get you a free pair of boots. You're going to be a skier. And I fought it for as long as I could. And then finally I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And now I'm much happier on 2 sets of boards under my feet than being attached to the one. But I still like snowboarding. I haven't gone in a while, but I don't know. I've been kind of toying with the idea of jumping back over and seeing what it feels like.
But you do still ski quite a bit then?
Yeah. So my parents still live out there. They live in here part-time, but they also live in Park City. So I try to go out. I try to ski like 3 or 4 times a year. But since opening the business, I knew going into this year that I was not going to be skiing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is the first winter. I have not been in Utah since I was 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I bet you Pilates probably helps a lot with the balance and everything.
It does,
I would
yeah.
imagine.
And just like the core strength and the leg strength and just like your proprioception and just where you are in space, which is also very helpful when you have to be aware of all the people around you hauling it past you, or trailing in front of you. So yeah, it's definitely beneficial for skiing, but really for all sports.
Yeah, I bet. Well, any recommendations for any Springfield folks that are traveling and doing a little vacation out in Park City? Any recommendations for them?
As far as like food or where to stay?
Anywhere, anything.
Man, the list
Some of your
is
favorites,
so long.
since you've been out there so much, anything you could tell them.
Oh, you got to hit up High West Distillery.
Okay.
They have the best whiskey battered shishito peppers. It's a whiskey batter fried. And the sauce, the dipping sauce they have is so bomb. No Name Saloon has a phenomenal burger that's not like touristy. It's a local joint, but it's definitely on everyone's tourist list. But they have a great burger. It's just a great bar in general. You got to hit up Main Street if you're there doing all the shops and things. Butcher's is great. Boneyard. If you're going to be up in Deer Valley, Stein Eriksen Lodge always has great food. The Goldener Hirsch. There's so many great places.
Yeah.
That's like when I go, I'm like, I got to hit all the spots. Yeah.
No, I've never actually been to Park City. I've been around. I've been to Salt Lake City, but I've never actually stayed in Park City.
Park City's awesome, but Salt Lake's great too. I lived in Salt Lake for a handful of years and loved it. I feel like there's so much to do down there. And it definitely has a different kind of a nightlife. I feel like if you are younger and moving out there, I would probably live in Salt Lake just because Park City is Salt Lake's so expensive too, but Park City is outrageously expensive now. But yeah, Salt Lake is a great place to live.
Yeah. So what drew you to LA? Was it the fashion program at the college or something?
Honestly,
or what was
it was a relationship.
Okay. Gotcha.
We were doing long distance for about on and off for 6 years. And so it was just like, all right, one of us has to figure this out. So I sold my house, moved out there. I was already teaching at the time. And it had kind of always been my plan to I'm going to get certified. I'll teach a little bit in Utah. And then I was always going to move to LA. And so I lived there for 3.5 years. But I taught in Utah. I taught at the University of Utah and go Utes, huge Utes fan of football. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have a Major League Football team. And so everyone's diehard Utes fan or BYU, which don't get me started on that. But
no BYU in that?
Definitely no BYU, no blue. It's all red. So that's why I appreciate your red decor.
Right.
But yeah, so from there, University of Utah, I taught there. And then I taught at a golf community at their clubhouse. And then from there, moved to LA and taught at a couple different studios in West Hollywood, and then in Brentwood also.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool places to be around.
Awesome place. LA's awesome. It gets a bad rep, but it is one of the greatest places to live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just you have everything at your fingertips and food and shopping. And there's just so much to do. And then just the culture. I remember just daily getting ready and you can hear people speaking 3 to 4 different languages outside of your window. And I think that that's so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, on the news, you might get a bad rap, especially for maybe Midwestern folks and things like that. But it has to be so cool. The culture and the vibe, just everything at your fingertips.
Well, every big city is going to have its not awesome qualities. And I have not been to LA in a couple of years, but It's gotten rougher, I would say,
Sure.
but if you can just like look past all that, it's really awesome. Like
Sure.
my dad came to visit one time and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "This place is a dump." I go, "No, this place is awesome. You got to look past the trash,
Uh-huh.
look past all the dirt and the broken windows in certain places." I was like, "What about the dinner last night? Was that not the greatest pasta you've ever had in your life?" And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like,
Yeah.
"See? So it's worth it."
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, after being at all those different places, you decided to open up your studio right here in
Yes,
Springfield.
I know.
Could have done it there, could have done it in Park City,
I
but did it
know.
here.
It's so awesome. I love it so much. During COVID, I was out in LA and I had flown back a couple because my parents were here. My sister was here. So I had gone down to my brother's in San Diego a few times and flown back here a few times. And my dad was like, "Why don't you just come and stay for a month?" And I was like, "All right." So I was here for 4 weeks and there was just something in deep down that was like, "You need to move here." And I usually ignore that voice, but I had never lived in Springfield as an adult. I was having so much fun. I know the world was shut down and it was not an okay time, but my sister's a teacher and during the school year, I don't really get to see her. And when I did not live here, I would come home for like a week during the summer. And so I got that week with her and my nieces and stuff, and it was so fun. But having a month with them and riding bikes, and we had our inflatable pool out on the driveway. And I was like, this is pretty awesome.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so I don't know. I was like, I feel like maybe I should move back. And so I told my aunt first. I was like, don't tell anybody because everyone's going to freak out. But I'm thinking about moving home. And she was like, what? I was like, I know. Even when I say it out loud, I can't believe it. But I went back to LA because work opened back up. So I flew back out and I was so sad to leave. And I think that's when I knew, all right, I think LA's not going to be LA, the LA that I love for a while.
Right.
It's going to take a while for things to open back up and for people to feel safe going outside and everything. And so I was like, I think I'm going to move back to Springfield. I can't work in LA because Pilates studios were the bottom of the totem pole. So it was just like, I don't know. I feel like I should just move back here. And so I was like, I'm going to get a house. I'm going to flip it, live in it for 2 years. And then I'm going to move somewhere. Is it going to be back to LA? Is it going to be back to Park City? Is it going to be in my head? I was maybe thinking Nashville, but then I got set up on a blind date and we're married now.
Okay.
And so obviously I'm staying, but I've been back for it'll be 6 years in October, right?
Okay. All right. Well, 7 months into the business here, so
Mhm.
the whole startup is very fresh.
Yes.
Is this the very first full business you've ever done?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think every Pilates instructor is like, I want to have my own studio one day. And that was always in the back of my brain as far as something that I wanted, whether I was on by myself or if I was going to partner with somebody. But I just got to a point in my life and in my career where I was like, I know that I will regret this if I don't do this. And I was even talking to my dad before I signed the lease. And he was like, do you really want to do this? And I said, if I try this and fail, I will be happy that I tried it.
Mm.
I will regret not giving this a shot probably for forever. And so I need to just do this. It's going to be really hard. I'm not going to be able to ski.
Right.
And I'm going to have to work every single day, all day long.
Mhm.
And I'm ready for it. And so he was like, all right, Godspeed.
Take that leap.
Yeah,
Let's go.
exactly. Right. And so I signed my lease, did a full remodel, did a full gut. I got new floors from Staff Carpet. Kim's staff helped me do so much there between her and my husband. I don't know if I could have done it without them just because Kim was working overtime behind the scenes and my husband working his full manual labor job all day long was then coming to the studio when he got home and helping me do all the things after hours. It's completely morphed into everything that I could have wanted.
Love it.
Yeah.
So walk us through your thought process on picking the location, and then you have a blank slate from there. How do I want this to feel? How do I want this to look? The whole
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, there was a couple of different spots that I've been looking at, and they were all going to be so much work to try to make the best of it and to try to figure out whether it was like a random pole in the middle of the design. The lease was crazy or just like, I don't know, just walking it, just like it just didn't feel right until I went into the space that I'm in right now. And as soon as I walked in, I was like, this is it. It's like when you find the house that you want or the person that you go on a date with, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, like this is it. And that's how I felt when I walked into this space. And I had a vision for it. And I had a Pinterest board that I had been like saving things on for years and years. And so I just circled back to that. I wanted it to be light and airy, but warm and cozy at the same time, which completely contradicts each other. But I feel like I accomplished that. I just wanted a place that was calming for people to look forward to coming to every day. Life is crazy. And so to be able to leave everything at the door and be able to come into a space and just give yourself 50 minutes, or if you're in a 30-minute session, to just solely focus on yourself is just so important. And I just wanted to create a place that people look forward to coming to every day.
Love it. Well, tell us a little bit about the space. What does it look like? Somebody goes in there.
So you walk in and it's our entryway lobby area. We have retail, grip socks for sale. Then we have a little sitting area. And then to your right, there's the reformer room. And there are private sessions and group classes in the reformer room. I'm comprehensively certified, which means that I'm certified on all the different apparatuses or equipment. And so we have reformers, there's a chair, we have a barrel and a trapeze tower or Cadillac. And then you can enter in the next room behind the reformer room, and that's the mat room. So there's mat group classes back there. And then I have 2 private rooms in the back from the mat room. One is for private sessions. And then the other room, there's a woman named Stacy who rents it out from Revive.
Mhm.
So she does like all the IV hydration drips and
Oh,
everything
yeah.
back there.
Heck yeah.
So if you're ever in the need of anything like that, or she does all the vitamin infusion.
I've been
So,
wanting
yeah.
to try some of those. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll come
it's
by your
great.
place and
It's
do
great.
that.
Yeah, she does like NAD and like all the stuff all the celebs are doing right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's
Very
awesome.
Cool. Very cool. Well, let's do a little Pilates 101.
Okay.
Folks, maybe they've never done Pilates before, or maybe they've done it as a class one
Mhm.
time, but it was just a 1 or 2 time thing. Bring us back to the basics of Pilates. What is it and what's the intent? Right,
Well, it's not stretching,
Yeah.
which everyone thinks that it is.
Everybody thinks
Yes,
stretching,
it
yeah.
is. It's a very challenging but very rewarding workout. It strengthens you from the inside out. Like when you go to the gym, like you're thinking biceps, quads, like all of your large outer muscles that you can see pretty instantly once you start working out. Pilates works those muscles, but it also works all of your little stabilizer muscles and the smaller muscles that you need to develop those larger muscles so that you don't get injured. Pilates was started as a form of rehab and exercise. And so it does have so many rehab qualities to it. People get it confused with yoga. It's more of a, not like I shouldn't say it's more of a workout, but it's just different. We're doing reps and sets of things as opposed to flowing through a movement, which we do sometimes, or holding a movement, which we also do sometimes. But I would say like more so we're going to do 2 sets of something and we're going to do it 10 times or something like that. So it's a little different than what everyone I feel like thinks that it is. Even all my friends, even though I've been teaching for, it's going to be 10 years in the fall. They're like, oh, how's yoga going? I'm like, Pilates.
Not yoga. Not yoga.
Yeah, it's such a great form of exercise and it's great on its own, but it's also even better when you incorporate it into your already existing workout regimen, whether you're an athlete. You know, it's great for any sport that has any kind of rotation in it or any physical power sports like running and things like that. It's great for that. Lifting, it's a great complement to that as well. And it's great for everyone. My youngest client's 10 and my oldest client's 99 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's literally for everybody and it makes you feel great. And it's things that you don't realize until you start doing it. And then you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm driving in my car and I'm sitting up taller, or I just turned back to reach back and grab something out of the back seat and I could rotate more, or I could get in and out of the car more easily, or when you wake up, you're not in pain. It has so many benefits to it outside of the physical, like looking good.
Right.
There's just so many awesome benefits to it and for everybody.
And do you use resistance as part
so
of your Pilates at all?
the equipment has springs that are attached to it. And so the different springs are different tensions. So some of them are heavier than others. And depending on what we're doing, we will want to add more spring. And then sometimes we take springs away to make it more challenging. But then sometimes adding more springs on certain moves makes it more challenging. All of the equipment was created to make the mat work more accessible. So you're technically supposed to start on the mat and build a foundation and then graduate to each piece of equipment
Okay.
and then go back to the mat because it's you against gravity and you don't have that support from the springs to help you do certain things. With that said, I think there are still some things that are still more challenging to do on the reformer or on the Cadillac, but than it is on the mat. But otherwise, it's all hard.
Right.
And everyone's like, when does it get easier? And it might feel like you can flow through something easier or you can hold things for longer, but that doesn't make it necessarily easier. You're just getting stronger. And the stronger you get, the deeper your mind-body connection becomes. From there, you can hold that pose for longer or you can find that breath to help you connect to the core a little bit deeper. and you are just going to get more out of it. It doesn't necessarily becomes easier. You're just able to connect to different muscles differently.
Right. So that mind-body connection, how important is that? Because
That's everything. That's the whole kit and caboodle
Yeah.
of Pilates. Yeah. It's
Okay.
like breath, mind body connection, concentration, control, balance, all of the things that you need in your everyday life to live your life, being as pain free as you can. That's also our goal too, is to help you do all of the things that you're doing in your everyday life but help you do them better.
Okay. How do you, as the instructor, facilitate that in a class? How to get them that mind-body connection? How do you help
There's
with
a
that?
lot of arm movements. There's a lot of emphasis in your words. And like if you're squeezing something or, you
Mhm.
try to have your words reflect what they're feeling or what the move is. But, it's, what Pilates is great for the clients because, like I said earlier, you have to leave whatever it is that you have going on during your day or life. You technically really need to leave it at the door because you're not going to get as much out of it if you're thinking about all what you need to get at the grocery store.
Mm.
You have to be in that full mind body connection to get everything out of it and all of the amazing benefits. But same thing as an instructor. If you are having a bad day, you have to leave that at the door because you have to show up for the one to however many people are in front of you. And so it's as much of a therapy session for an instructor as it is for the client because I just took 50 minutes to focus on you.
Mhm.
And I can't think about what happened before I walked in the studio or what I need to do afterwards. I am 100% focused on you. And my mind body connection to you is the break that I get. And then the mind body connection to yourself when you're on the reformer, it's a break from your everyday life too. So it's the best.
Yeah.
But that's why I wanted to open up my own business. Cause like I said, I just wanted to help people feel their best and live their life pain free and feel happy and accomplished about themselves.
Mhm. Love it. Now you're talking about the stabilizer muscles. That's no joke there. Even when I was in phenomenal shape, lifting all the time, I tried some Pilates and
Mhm.
I really felt that.
Yeah, it is a humbling form of exercise. It is humbling for the beginner, for the advanced mover, for the athlete. You get people in here that can deadlift however many pounds or do a leg press. And it's like, and then you have them try to do any kind of core work. And they're like, wait a second, I didn't know my muscles could do that. And so, like I said, it's humbling. And then it makes you want to keep coming back because you're like, that was really hard, but you feel so awesome and proud of yourself afterwards that you can't wait to come back. So it's the best.
Love it. How long's a typical session, either group or
It
individual?
depends. So I have some clients that do 30 minutes once a week, 30 minutes twice a week, and then a group class is 50 minutes long though.
Okay. Do you have certain times throughout the week where it's just standard for groups?
Yes, so
Or
we have group classes depending on the day, but usually 6 and 7 a.m., 9 a.m., noon, 4:30, 5, or 5:30.
Okay.
And then Saturdays we have 8, 9, and 10.
Okay. Do you have any drop-in type stuff if people want to try it
We-
out, or is it all
Yes.
basically?
So mat class, my studio, mat class, you can come and go as you please. The reformer, if you have not done reformer before, I do require 3 private sessions before you get on the reformer, just so you are aware of how it works because it is a moving piece of equipment and there is room for injury. And there's just a lot of different lingo and things that you need to have like a little bit of exposure to before you go into a group class, just so you're not completely lost. It helps you get the most out of your group class and out of your exercise. You don't feel like you just wasted 50 minutes. So that one-on-one attention for those first 3 sessions is just very beneficial, I have found out, because I've taught in studios that don't require it and then do require it. And then some classes have different levels and some don't. But, having someone that's never done Pilates come into a level 2, that's not fair to all the other people that have signed up that are actual level 2s. And it helps too for the instructor to get to know the new person before they come in because maybe those 3 sessions aren't enough and maybe you need to do another 5 or maybe you realize, hey, I love this one-on-one attention. I don't really want to go in a group. I just want to stay in the private sessions or reformer's great, but I want to actually maybe stick with just mat. So, it just gives you a little bit of a learning experience as far as what it is that you're wanting. And it helps us get to know each other before you're in a room with 7 other people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I have 8 reformers, so it's more of like a boutique space. That way, with the 8 reformers, it allows our instructors to actually give you that attention so we can each keep an eye on everybody, make sure everyone's holding the right form. And if there is anyone having an issue, we can kind of get to you quickly and also keep an eye on everybody else too.
Right. So still shy of a year in business, and this is your first business. What are some lessons you've learned so far along the way?
The lessons that I've learned, well, the first thing that's just been probably the most like, wow, is just the amount of talking that I had to do. When I first started, I was teaching probably 56 hours a week, sometimes more, sometimes a little less, but it was definitely 52 plus hours a week. And it was just so much talking, so much talking. And so in between sessions and classes, I'm still talking to clients, chit-chatting about other stuff. And even when I would get home, I would tell my husband, I'm like, I need 10 to 20 minutes of not talking and
Right.
hearing myself talk.
Right.
Like you can maybe talk to me, but I just need a little bit of silence right now.
Because in a Pilates session, if you've never taken one, you are pretty much talking
Yes, I
and
am
guiding
talking
through the whole thing.
Yep, whole thing. Because your mind, it's so easy to just stray. And like I said, start thinking about what you're doing later or something that happened earlier that week or the day. And so I find that the constant verbiage of things and just reminders of things to think about is important to just keep you into your body. There are little pockets of time where I allow you to feel that, but then there's just so many things that you need to be thinking about and trying to connect to when you're doing the moves. So I find that it's helpful to just have that reiteration and the reminders throughout the class.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll throw out a congrats to you. Weren't
Thank
you just
you.
for the 40 under 40?
Yes.
Yeah, just nominated for that.
Yeah,
That's
thank
cool,
you.
right?
Very, very happy. Very grateful that I got nominated for that. Yeah, when I moved here, I told my family, I said, I don't know what it's going to be for, but I want that before I'm 40.
Oh, yeah?
And I told them, I was like, if I'm 39 and have not been nominated, one of you guys needs to do it.
Nominate
Yeah.
me.
And they're like, I don't think that's how it works. But anyway, so I'm glad that it happened. But
Called it then,
I'm so grateful to have been nominated, and especially alongside like all the other awesome people. And yeah, it's a cool accomplishment.
Yeah. That's
But as
awesome.
far as like lessons go and things that I've learned, I mean, running a business by yourself is not for the faint heart, especially when it's a full remodel and starting from scratch. There's no one there to hold your hand or really help guide you. I remember I had some questions about something, and so I had to call a number like through the state of Illinois, and they're like, "Oh, we don't know. You're calling the wrong place. Like, call this number." So then I called that number, and then they're like, "No, you got to call this other office," which is who I had just called, who told me to call these people. And they're like, "Well, try this." And I'm like, what is going on right now? And I was like, there's just no guidebook on it. And so it's really just a learning experience. And I know within this first year, I'm probably going to make several mistakes. And I know that I already have. And I think that's just all part of the learning process. Being a beginner at anything is hard and it's humbling and it's such a learning experience. And so I think just knowing that I'm going to make those mistakes and just learn from them and do better next go around is all that I can really ask for. I feel like my clients that come in, they're beginners. They're like, I'm nervous. I've never done this before. I'm not very flexible. I'm not this. It's like, I know that's why you're here. Let me help you become stronger, become more mobile, become more flexible. So it's same thing about running a business. You might not know how to do things and there's no true guidebook and lesson plan on how you're supposed to do this, because also every state's different too.
Right.
And so it's just everything has been a learning experience.
And it'll continue to be that way.
Yeah, 100%. But I would say like if you do not have the hustle and the passion to start your own business, I just would maybe wait because you won't get paid and everything else comes before you.
Right.
And so it's a lot of late nights and a lot of early mornings, which I am not a morning person. And I teach 6 a.m. classes 3 days a week.
So you have to kind of be one. You have to turn yourself into one.
At 6 a.m. I'm like, all right, everybody, let's go. Like, we're going to start, it's like, grab your weights, grab your ball. We're doing all the things. But had you told me that this would be my life, that I would be living in Springfield and owning a business here and also just having my dream studio, I would be like, you're crazy. So I'm like, it all circles back just to being so grateful that I've had the opportunities, be able to do this and to have all the people that have helped me along the way to get here. It's just been such a rewarding experience. And I hope that, I'm passing on, joy and happiness to everyone else that comes through the doors and that they feel accomplished and awesome about themselves when they leave. So it's just like my everyday goal.
Love it.
Yeah.
Now, we talk a lot in the 10X world about most people underestimate the amount of action it takes to reach a goal or to reach a target.
Yes.
And that is very much the case with starting a business. People
Yeah.
underestimate the amount of time, effort, and work
Yes.
and everything that
Yeah.
goes into a successful business.
Right. And it's not even just the stuff that people see either. It's everything that goes on behind. It's like, yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
It is wild.
No doubt about it. What are some ways you've marketed yourself throughout this first year, getting your name out there for folks?
Yeah, that's probably the thing that I have not had the time for so far, just because, again, I've been teaching so much and there's only so many hours in the day. But now I just hired my first instructor. So I feel like that's a huge accomplishment because now I am able to do some things during the day, like during normal working business hours and contact people, trying to get my name out there. I hope that, the 40 for 40 thing kind of helps. I've already had 2 people call me, 3 people today call me to get set up for private sessions.
Oh, nice.
They haven't heard it from the 40 for 40, but just through like word of mouth, fortunately did grow up here. And so I know people, my sister, my family. And so I feel like, there's 0 degree of separation in Springfield. And so everyone knows everybody. And so that honestly has been very helpful in this case because I'm teaching people that work with my sister or that grew up with my parents or that I was friends with when I was little. So it's just cool to have that opportunity to teach all of these people. Loved all my clients in Utah and in LA, but they didn't go to grade school with my aunt. And it's fun to, I don't know, have it all just kind of like circle back to that. I don't know. And then to be able to develop these relationships with these people just like on my own. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, no, and you're in a great location. We hadn't mentioned you're in the Gables.
Yes,
there,
Gables, yep.
So that's perfect location
I know.
for pulling that west side right there for
we're
you.
right next to Wealthy Juice, which I feel like is a great neighbor to have just because they're health conscious and lots of people go next door and get a smoothie before or after class or a little snack. I'm there every day eating and drinking smoothies.
There you go.
So I know I'm giving them business.
Right. There might be some collaboration you guys could do there.
I know. So it's and they're awesome. So it's a great location. The studio has so much natural light. It's just such a happy place. I love being there. Even when I was there 56 hours and I hired my instructor, Courtney, I was like, I'm going to be sad not being here all the time just because I love it so much. And during a storm, it's my favorite place to be. And then when it's snowing, it's like a reverse snow globe. I love it. And when it's sunny, it's beautiful too.
Right. No, I bet you do get some good natural light in there.
Yes.
You do have some nice big windows
Big
all
windows,
around
which
on the
makes
front
the
and side.
electrical bills really awesome, but
Sure.
it's all worth it.
Sure.
It's all for the vibe, right? So
Is that one of the reasons why you picked that place?
I think so. It's the energy from the sun is very therapeutic. And when you're on the reformer and you're looking out in an evening class, the sunset out there is just so gorgeous. I have a client who always has to she's like, I need this spot so that I can see the sunset during
nice.
class.
Yeah.
It's such a happy space. I love it. And I hope everyone else loves it too.
One of these days here real soon, we're going to do something. You're going to show me some of these moves.
Yes, would love to get you like mic'd up
and
and on the reformer because everyone thinks like, oh, Pilates is for girls, but it was actually started by a man for men.
Yeah.
So it was started during the war and World War I, and it was meant to help rehab soldiers and prisoners who were injured.
I didn't realize
And
that.
so it was started by Joseph Pilates.
Oh, I would have got that right. I was just about to ask you, was it Joseph?
Yes, it was Joseph
I got that right.
Pilates. So he was a German boxer and he fled Germany, was living in England and was captured there as a foreign alien and put into an internment camp. And that's where he developed most of the Pilates regimen and where I would say the bulk of the moves were developed. And there's a story which it can't be confirmed because the records from then were not kept well.
Sure.
But most people agree that it's true. So, don't quote me, but
Right.
you can quote me. But influenza broke out in the camp and everyone that was doing Pilates did not get sick.
Really?
And everyone else who was not doing his daily exercises got influenza. So I think that that's so interesting. And then after he was released from the camp, he went back to Germany and then he was getting recruited by the police force to train the police. And he was like, I don't want anything to do with this. So then he left Germany, came to America and was in the same building as what is now the New York Ballet Company. And so all the dancers that got injured were sent to him for rehab. And so I think that's where it became this more for like ballet dancers and females, even though he had tons of male clients because they were also dancers, but they were all sent to be rehabbed. And from there, then they would go back to their dance. Some of them ended up retiring and getting trained by him and then going off and teaching Pilates for themselves. Yeah, it's such a fascinating history.
That is, yeah.
Because
That with the influenza not getting
right,
that's
I
super
know. Yeah, I
interesting.
mean, because like the breath and just like again, what it does to your organs and to your lungs and everything. And like opera singers were big clients of his in the beginning, just because you need that lung capacity. And there he had all different kinds of crazy little breathing tools and stuff that he made. But yeah, he was such like an inventor and funny looking guy. He was like absolutely jacked,
Yeah.
but always wore these like little very tiny shorts. Very tiny shorts. I don't even know if they would classify as shorts,
Sure,
but
right. More
you know,
Speedo-esque.
yes, very
Yeah.
much so. Yes. But yeah, he was way ahead of his time.
Yeah.
Way. But I think now this whole Pilates only for girls or the Pilates princess vibe, which it is a very controlled exercise, but there's so much power and strength behind it. And there's so many very serious athletes that love Pilates.
Absolutely.
And actors like Sylvester Stallone's a big fan.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really too many feminine qualities about that man.
No,
so you know what I mean?
No,
So
if Rocky's doing it,
right,
let's go.
exactly.
So that's awesome. No, I'm looking forward to it. Well, Bailey, so much great stuff today. I always like to close with these last couple of things. Let's give the audience a piece of advice, one on the personal side, one on the professional side, to help them elevate their life or business.
I just think that not giving up on something just because it's hard or giving up on yourself because you're going through a hard time. I think, my mom got me this plaque that said not to spoil the ending, but everything's going to be okay.
Mhm.
And so I think that just keeping your head down and grinding through whatever it is that you're going through, whether it's that happy time that you get to enjoy or the hard times, you just got to keep on powering through the storm and it's all going to end up being okay.
Love it. And a piece of professional advice from your first year?
Man, if you have a gut feeling that you are meant to do something and that you are destined to do something, even though it's terrifying and intimidating, I go for it. Failure is very scary, but regret is even scarier.
Mm-hmm. Love that.
Yeah.
And is there anything we can do community-wide to help all of us here elevate Springfield or the surrounding communities?
Just continuing supporting local businesses. I've been since I moved back here, I'm like, we need to make Springfield great again. There has so much potential. And when I grew up here, there was so much to do and so much going on. And I feel like every time I get on Facebook, in 217, whatever, there's another business is closed and whatnot. So I think that I know life is expensive, but and I am guilty of this, but just because of the easy factor of getting on Amazon and ordering something, like go to local businesses and find a gift from somebody like District 23, Gypsy Soul, Kennedy Sue, Bella Boutique. I mean, there's Better with Bubbly. Like there's so many cute spaces and stores that you can shop at that have way better stuff than you're going to find on Amazon.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think just support local. And now that I'm a local business, I feel that way even more so.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's so important that we continue to do so that more people then have the courage to open up a local business because they know their community is going to support them.
Right. Absolutely. When we all work together, we grow together.
Absolutely.
So,
create something great.
No doubt about it. We can all continue to make a conscious effort to support local. I mean, just like these shoes here. These are ASICs. I could have went online and got them there, but I went down to Springfield Running Center and got them there instead.
Nice. Very nice.
Right?
Yes.
They're right there. Why not support local when you can?
Right.
There might not be everything you buy. You might not be able to get local, but when you can, let's make it local.
Absolutely. Everyone laughs at me because I'm like one of the 5 people that still shop at the mall. But even at American Eagle, it's like, I know it's not a local store, but there are people there that are local that have jobs.
Yeah.
And if I see, I will check stock. And if they have it in store, I will go in and get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will have them order what I want from online so that the store gets credit for it. So that it's not just like drop shipping from their online store. So even just little things like that, it's probably a lot more work, but the mall, don't even get me started on that. It makes me so sad. I'm like, I will be the person that when they're cutting down an old redwood tree that changed themselves to it, I will be chaining myself to the doors of the mall because I'm like, you cannot take it. You cannot take it.
Right.
It has to stay open. So yeah, I mean, do what you can. I know convenience is hard because we all have busy lives and life is expensive now. And so you can always find everything cheaper on Amazon. But also if you take the time, you might be able to find something a little bit better too in your local community and local stores.
Absolutely. Yeah, my older daughter said something very similar when she was on here. She said, "Yeah, just make an effort to shop in person at these places instead of always going online for it."
And you might come to a shop downtown that you're planning on going to and then see oh wait, I haven't been in there.
Right.
And then hop in there and then you find something great. So you never know.
Yeah. Support local, folks.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and start getting our, what would it be? MS MSGA hats, or Make Springfield Great Again
Yes.
hats. We'll go ahead and start getting those.
I was like, Madison Square Garden?
I was doing it in my head. Make sure I get this right. Yeah, MSGA, Make Springfield Great Again. Yeah, we'll go ahead and start getting those.
Yes.
But yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll remind everybody, if they want to come do some Pilates with you, take a class, whatever, hey, where do they go to learn more?
Go to pulsepilatestudio.com, or you can reach out to me directly. My number is on our website. You can message us through Instagram, Facebook if you have any questions. But you can also find us on the Mind Body app. So if you are already on that app through different studios in town, you are welcome to just go on there, directly sign up for class. But just remember that mat class, anyone can come to. Reformer classes, I just need you to have that prior experience before coming to a group class. And if you don't have that, then I will happily get that for you with those 3 private sessions so that you are ready to rock and ready to jump into group class after those sessions are up.
Let's go. Well, appreciate you spending some time with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and looking forward to our follow-up here.
Absolutely, yes.
Whipping
I'm excited
my stabilizer
about it.
muscles.
Can't wait.
Great.
Yeah, you'll have to do the Sylvester Stallone voice.
I'll do that. That'll be fun. I'll work on that. I watched enough Rocky in the past.
There you go.
I could do that pretty good. So
love it.
All right. Well, we're going to let Bailey get back to elevating Springfield. But for the rest of y'all, we'll be right back.
Looking for expert tree care with hometown integrity? Look no further than Sangamon Tree Service. They're your trusted local pros, delivering quality workmanship, exceptional customer service, and fair, honest pricing every time. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, their team brings professionalism and care to every job, big or small. Call the name your neighbors trust, Sangamon Tree Service, or visit them today at sangamontreeservice.com. Sangamon Tree Service, rooted in quality, built on trust. Looking for personalized insurance with hometown care? David Hilst, American Family Insurance Agents, here to help you protect what matters most: your family, your home, and your dreams. Whether it's auto, home, life, business, David and his team are proud to serve the Springfield community with trusted advice and reliable coverage. Local service, real relationships, peace of mind. Call today or stop by their office. They can build your dream protection plan together. Call 217-726-6343.
Well, thank you for joining us today, everybody. Appreciate you making us a part of your day. Hey, don't forget, while you're out on social, check ours out. You can check my personal one out at Robert Farrell at everywhere. Check out those Elevate Springfield pages, those Big Dog Business Coaching pages as well. Check us out over on YouTube. Give us a subscribe, give us a like or a follow on any of those channels. We would certainly appreciate it. So hey, take what you learned today. You bring the discipline and follow through, and together, that's right, y'all, we're going to elevate Springfield. Be great.
When I first walked into Shudokan Karate Club, I was just looking for a way to get stronger, but what I found was so much more. Here we train in traditional karate, the real stuff, passed down through generations. Every punch, every kata has purpose. I've learned self-discipline, confidence, and how to protect myself. Not just in class, but in real life. It's not about being aggressive, it's about being prepared. This is more than a club, it's a way of life. Join us at Shudokan, traditional, powerful, real. Ki-ai!